Hello everyone. 3 days ago, I ate 38 eggs. Snoopy did as well. And we did that because we wanted to know what it's like to eat like a pro bodybuilder. And I have to say, after egg 26, it was not a pleasant experience. I found myself having to shovel that egg down. But a few things, people said that I was going to get really bad cholesterol from the eggs. So today we're going to do a blood test. And another thing that people said that was going to happen was that I was going to get really, really nasty poo. Did not happen. I was really surprised myself. It was such a good poo after that 38 eggs. It was silky smooth. So today we're going to do the exact opposite and eat the vegan diet for 1 day. Eat only vegetables and some nuts and stuff that vegans eat, and see if all that fiber, which people said is good for poo, is actually going to give me a good poo. So we're going to go to the clinic now and get my blood tested. Alright, so we're outside the lab. I get my blood tested at this lab instead of at the hospital because the hospitals without an in-house lab, they outsource to this lab anyway. So I don't have to pay the markup, and I don't have to take the risk of a doctor giving me his opinion if his opinion is wrong. Because a lot of the new science indicate that the previous healthy cholesterol range is actually not accurate. For example, there's a study done in Korea which showed all-cause mortality rate versus cholesterol levels, and the optimal cholesterol level was way higher than what was previously assumed to be healthy. Now, it's all-cause mortality, so there are other factors playing into it. But I would pay attention to the study. I've put the link below in the description. Okay, so 10 years ago, I had a pretty serious scooter versus truck accident. I ran into a truck who suddenly turned right, and then its wheel crushed my foot. It was 10 tons. So 10 years ago, I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And I just had injections every day for the antibiotics, and it made me freak out. Whenever I get an injection, I hate needles. But I get my blood work done once a month now because it's a pretty important monitor of your health. It's actually much better than, it's much better than a normal health check.
会有点痛吗？
还好。
因为你血管比较深一点。
刚刚在讲，我10年前出车祸，
我听得懂。
然后现在有恐惧症。
学姐帮你抽好不好？因为我觉得有点难。等我一下，稍等一下。
So she couldn't get my blood. My vein is too deep down. This happens every time. So that's why I get pricked more than once whenever I get my blood tested, and I have PTSD from it. But anyway, you get the idea. So the samples are taken. It's got my urine and my blood sample, and it was super quick, less than 10 minutes. Now let's start eating our vegan diet. Now you might have questions like, why do I have to do extreme stuff? Why do I have to eat 38 eggs? And then why do I have to eat vegan diet for a day? Well, if you want to know what the effect of the food is, you can't eat a mixed diet, which is what most people eat. They don't know the effects of the food. And this is what a lot of these studies that say meat and eggs will give you cancer or heart disease do. They research on people who are eating a mixed diet and then say it's the meat and the eggs causing them colon cancer or heart disease, when it's most probably the processed foods that they're eating. And the same goes for the vegan diet. There's so much research now promoting the vegan diet, but a lot of it is funded by the company Monsanto. Monsanto is a monocrop company, and they supply the genetically modified seeds for much of the US crop industry, and they also supply the pesticides for the crop industry. So they have huge interest in increasing the amount of food sold in terms of vegan style or processed foods, because processed foods are all made from plants. You can't keep meat over a long period of time. You can only keep plant-based stuff like soy, corn, wheat, etc. So that's where all this faulty nutrition science comes from. And I'm just doing this little short experiment to test out whether the vegan diet is really the craze it's meant to be. Right, so one of the things that everyone said when I ate some of my eggs raw, when I did that 38 egg challenge, was I was going to get salmonella and get food poisoning, and it didn't happen because I buy my eggs from a high-end store and they're either cage-free or pasture-raised. So for example, pretty much all the eggs here are cage-free, you see free-range eggs, cage-free, and I've tried out all the different brands, so I know which ones are the highest quality. People normally just buy eggs from a normal supermarket, and they don't know that cage-free eggs, other than being more humane, they are way more nutritious because the chickens are healthier, they're running around, and they're getting better feed as well. So if you're getting eggs, make sure the eggs are orange, the yolk are orange in color, and the shells are thick. If the chicken is sick, then the shell for the eggs will be very thin. If it's healthy, then it'll be thick. And the reason why I didn't get salmonella is because these eggs are high-end eggs. So not only have they been sterilized inside, they've cleaned the outside as well. They've cleaned the outside as well. So they don't have the chicken poo on the outside, which is what gives salmonella. For the next meal, I decided I would have cereal with almond milk, which is still vegan. But I decided to have this meal because it's processed food. I had a discussion with a guy on a carnivore diet forum who said, and the guy said his colleagues are vegan and they eat processed foods and they're really unhealthy. One of them died in their 30s from cancer. It was not the first time I've heard that. Another friend of mine, he's eating carnivore diet, and his colleagues give him crap because they think he's going to get a heart attack from his carnivore diet, but they're the ones who look unhealthy. And I went for cereal because cereal is a processed food. It's the most commonly eaten breakfast in the developed world, yet it is complete trash in my opinion. Because what you're doing is getting a shot of sugar and a huge carb load first thing in the morning. So you get an insulin spike. So this brand, for example, is a healthy brand, marketed as a healthy brand, but it has the same amount of sugar in 100 grams of product as a Kit Kat. And the total carb load is almost 80 grams. So it's got more than 3 times the carbohydrates in a Kit Kat bar. And the serving size they give is just unrealistic. An adult would probably eat about 65 grams of cereal. So you're getting a huge carb spike, blood sugar spike when you eat this breakfast. And then the insulin will go up, and then later in the morning it'll crash and you'll feel hungry again. And the kids are eating worse. The kids' cereals generally have more than 30 grams of sugar per 100 grams of product. And kids are just getting addicted to the sugar. And it's what makes making kids fat. The first thing in the morning, they're getting a sugar spike. And the reason why they put so much sugar in cereal is because if you don't put sugar in cereal, it'll taste like cardboard. It is not edible. It is basically trash that you need to put loads of sugar and other artificial stuff in to make it edible. If you don't believe me, look at the back of labels in the future. But anyway, since I'm doing an experiment, I'm just gonna go and eat this trash. Okay, so this is boiled carrot, beans, and then a fry up of red peppers, onions, and mushrooms. And I can already tell you now, before I'm even eating it, that I'm not going to enjoy it. Because meat tastes so much better. In fact, I think doing the 38 egg challenge was easier than doing a vegan diet for one day. So I have to give vegans credit because they put themselves through all this pain and suffering in terms of their diet. The vegan diet is so hard to do that vegans eat Beyond Meat, and they eat artificial meat, artificial eggs, because meat and eggs taste good. So they eat stuff that's made from soy and then they try to make it taste like meat and eggs. Well, I know why vegans do what they do, because they don't want to harm animals. The thought of sending a pig or a cow to a butcher is too much for a vegan. But unfortunately, as you can see from this photo, when they cleared the habitats of animals for monocrops, they end up killing loads of wild animals. And then when they harvest the crops, like in Australia, for example, they have a big mice problem. They kill millions of mice when they harvest the crops. And then the pesticides, it kills hundreds of millions of insects. A lot of them aren't even insects that are harming the crops. It's just the pesticides will go and kill all these insects. So vegans feel sorry for pigs, chickens, and cows, but they don't feel sorry for the wild animals. They don't feel sorry for the mice. They don't feel sorry for the bugs. Sounds kind of hypocritical. If you only enjoy protecting the cute animals, but not the wild animals, which are cute as well, because the deer are cute. So here's to boiled beans. I hope this is my last meal, because I just want to take this vegan dump and see what it tastes like, what it feels like. Not what it tastes like. I'm not going to eat the poo. Okay, so I finally had a poo, and also my blood test results are back. But before I go over my blood test results, please subscribe to this channel. It'll help me a lot if I can grow this channel. Now, with regards to the poo, I would say after eating that high fiber vegan diet for a day, the poo came out average. I'll give it 65 out of 100. While my poo after the 38 eggs was surprisingly good, and I'll give it 95 out of 100. Okay, so people warned me that I was going to have a horrendous poo after the eggs. It didn't happen. But after eating a high fiber diet, and fiber is meant to give you a good poo, I only had an average poo. So you just have to trust me on that, since I'm not going to take photos of my poo for you. The blood test results. My creatinine was way too high, and my EGFR was low, which shows that my kidneys were under stress. And I'm not surprised by that, since I ate a huge protein load for that one day, eating 38 eggs. And my glucose AC was also a bit high, but that could have been from anything. I had the day after the eggs, I went out with friends and we had some beer. What's more important is my HbA1c, which is my long-term blood sugar average over 3 months, is 5.2, which is just perfect. And then my triglycerides is only 52, which is great. My cholesterol is 157, which is great. My HDL is 50, which is great. And my LDL is only 85, which is great. So my cholesterol profile is perfect. Contrary to studies which say that cholesterol in the food will cause you to have bad blood cholesterol, it's just total BS. These studies, remember, are funded often by the people who will benefit, or the companies who will benefit from the research. So remember, again, when you hear about research and studies that say, saturated fats will cause you to get heart disease, or red meats will cause cancer, or eating too much protein will cause you to die early. All of this stuff is funded by food companies and funded by entities which will benefit if people shifted their diet from meat to processed foods. So my cholesterol was perfect. Even though I ate 38 eggs, wasn't affected at all. That's the most important thing from this whole video that you can take away. I have the blood test to prove it. I hope everyone learned something from this.